Hello, this is Mr. Vaughn with the video lesson for the 7th grade material, Chapter 3. The first two lessons, lessons 3.1 and 3.2, we'll be covering today. Lesson 1 in this chapter is a review, so hopefully this is a lot of stuff that you're like, oh yeah, I know that. And we'll move through it pretty quickly. If you need reference pages. I'm not going to show them here today, but I highly encourage you to look on these pages in the California Math Book, page 191 and through 195. They've got all this vocabulary. It's always good to get explanations from a few different sources, not just here with me. So, quick review. Integers are whole numbers and their opposites, whole numbers. So fraction, not an integer. That's the next chapter. We get into rational numbers. So integers, whole numbers and their opposites. Negative integers are integers that are less than 0, to that left of 0 on the number line. Positive integers, obviously, are integers that are greater than 0. So when they're talking about negative integer, they want something that has a negative sign in front of it. Absolute value, hopefully you remember this from earlier. It is a numbers. I want to pause, see if you can think of it, what it's going to be. It's the number's distance from 0, always written as a positive. So negative, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Absolute value of positive 3 is 3 because of the same distance from 0. What we're going to do, let's see if I can delete that here. Yeah, probably not. Give me there we go. Bye-bye. So write an integer for each situation. So a little review from the 6th grade material. An average snowfall of 9 feet above normal. So when they say write an integer, write positive something or negative something. This average snowfall of 9 feet, that's a positive thing to get the snow. You're adding something to it, so the integer would be positive 9, or you can just write 9 is fine too. A loss of 12 yards would be written as negative 12. Okay? Let's see. Got somebody knocking on the door. I'm going to ignore them. So, more review on ordering and graphing numbers on the number line. So, let me get to a little thinner thing here. So graph the set of integers, negative 3, 6, negative 4, and 7. So it says order from greatest to least. Order from greatest to least. So what is the smallest number on there? Negative 4. And you guys can pause this and try yourself. That would be the best thing to do. Next biggest is negative 3. The next biggest is 6, and the biggest in that set is 7. You can see it quite easily when you start graphing them on here. Positive 6, and this is what you need to do on your notes too. Negative 4, negative or positive 7. So the smaller numbers are on the left-hand side. Negative 4 right here is the smallest, so that's why we put it further left over there. You'll get some equations on this too, things you have to do. Get that back on there. Go bye-bye. Okay. Evaluate absolute value of negative 3 plus 2. So absolute value of negative 3 is 3. I'm going to squeeze this in here. Plus 2 equals 5. You have to take care of the number inside the absolute value bar before you move on, before you can do any adding or subtracting. Absolute value of negative 7 is 7. Minus 3 is 4. Write yourself a little summary on that, and we're going to do lesson 2 on this one video. Make it nice and quick. Adding integers. Well, let's see. Maybe we shouldn't. Yeah, we'll stop it, and then we'll go ahead and do it like I said at the beginning. Okay, so lesson 2 is on adding integers. So when you hear integers, think positive and negative numbers. Negative numbers are technically the opposite of positive numbers, so you'll hear that sometimes too. So here's the pages that you're going to need. 203 to 207 is what you can refer to if you need some more explanation. So any questions you have, put in the left-hand column over there, your Cornell-style notes. To add integers with the same sign, add their absolute value. Add their absolute value. If it's positive if both integers are positive, and it's negative if both integers are negative. This is easiest to see when you have some examples. So let's see. I have -5, and I'm adding -6 to it. So you can think of this as like a whole different number of ways. Your parents go into a casino, they lose $5 one day, they go back the next day, they lose another $6. Altogether, they've lost $11. Football field. First play, you lose 5 yards. They give you the ball again, you lose 6 yards. Altogether, you've lost 11 yards. Temperature or a number line, right? So let's actually do this one on the number line. -5, and I'm adding, so you'd think I'd be going to the right, but I'm actually adding a negative number, so I'm going to the left. So -5, and then I'm going to move 6 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is, where -11 can be there. As counters, which I like to use a lot, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these are all negatives. And the next one we'll be working with some that are positive too. So we have 5 negative signs, 6 negative signs. You put them together, it's going to be 11. Okay. This one's pretty easy. Back to first grade here, right? Positive plus a positive is positive, right? Okay. Moving on. If you need to see that again, you can see that again. Adding negatives. So that's if they're the same signs. These were both negative, this was both positive. Now the next section is going to talk about what if they have different signs. Different signs. To add integers with different signs, subtract their absolute values. Not quite enough room there. Absolute values. If the sum is positive, if the positive integer's absolute value is greater, the answer is negative if the negative integer's absolute value is greater. And this is just a random line that the computer system put in there. I don't know why. I don't know why that's there. So you can see this on a number line. I'll go in green, and then I'll erase it later. So +9 plus a -4. So I'm on the number line up here in green. And then I'm going to add a -4. So again, you'd think I'm moving to the right because I'm adding. But you're adding a negative number, so you're actually moving 4 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer will be +5. Okay. Think of it as a temperature. It's 9 degrees, and then it goes down 4 degrees. Yards on a football game. First play you gain 9 yards. Next play you're adding -4 yards to that total play. So you've altogether made 5. You can also see it with these counters. Oh boy, I gotta pull 9 of those down. Jeez, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna write it. It'll be easier that way. So I have 9 positives. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'll do it in red so you can see the negatives, right? So 9 positives, 4 negatives, and I like to think of this as like soldiers in a battle, or you have 2 teams, 2 armies, the positive army and the negative army, right? And each time the soldiers encounter each other, a negative can kill positive, positive kill a negative, and they're gone, right? So we have one, it's not going to let me do that, I'll just cross them off. So this positive soldier and this negative soldier, they battle, they're done. They've killed each other, right? Next one, same thing. This positive kills that negative. Just like, +4 plus a -4 comes back to 0. It's gone. Another battle happens. They're gone. Another battle happens. They're gone. Now the negative team is all out of soldiers, so they're done battling. And what is left? 5 positives, which is why you end up with that. So a few different ways to show it. You can follow the rules, adding the absolute value. Absolute value of 9 is 9. Absolute value, or subtracting the absolute values. Absolute value of 9 is 9. Absolute value of 4 is 4. Subtract them. Which one's stronger? Which one has, you can't say higher because, it's absolute value, but which one's got more? And it would be the positives. So the answer is going to be positive. Take a look at the next example over here. -6 and 3. If we follow the rules that are up above, which is the words, absolute value of -3 or -6 is 6. Absolute value of 3 is 3. It says to subtract their signs. So we know the answer is going to be 3, but is it going to be +3 or -3? Well, which absolute value is greater? The team negative wins. Okay? If you want to do it with the models, we have 6 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 positives. So these 3 positives kill these 3 negatives, and you're left with a -3. Okay? Give it a shot. Down here on your turn, and write yourself a nice little summary with those 2 rules listed. Remember, the summary is not like I liked this, or this was pretty easy, or this was pretty hard. A summary is somewhere where you can look to briefly tell these rules in your own words. Alright, that is all, and I will see you later.